Sometimes their resemblance to reality is uncanny, or their subject is too heavy to be handled by a large part of the audience. It is at that moment when video games get banned, not being allowed to be published or sold in some countries that have stricter laws. Even though we might find it hard to believe that the titles featured in our video are not available to all players around the world, here is a list with 11 crazy video games that are totally banned due to their provocative content. Packing in a lot of controversial imagery, including but not limited to full frontal nudity, extreme gore, and heavy religious themes, Dante's Inferno was dubbed the bargain store god of war. With all of these extreme elements featured in its gameplay, it truly is a wonder how this game didn't get banned in all countries in the world, only Malaysia finding it way too over the top to be actually allowed on their gaming market. Like its meeker, so-called rip-off that we talked about before, the God of War series also gifts its players with huge amounts of blood, boobs, and fully fledged sexual scenes, so it's no wonder that the United Arab Emirates had something against the game and totally banned it from the country. Also, the fact that the title contains the word God was a major factor that led to the permanent prohibition of this gaming series. Even though Rockstar Games added the option of enabling graphical filters that obscure the extreme violence featured throughout the entire gameplay, Manhunt 2 still didn't manage to get published in a considerable number of countries, such as Germany, Ireland, New Zealand, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and South Korea. It seems that all the developers wanted was to simply push the limits with this second installment of the series, making it even more outrageous than the first one. LGBT people in Singapore lack many of the legal rights that apply to the rest of the sexual majority, and most certainly this is the reason why they decided to prohibit the distribution of Mass Effect 1. Regardless of the fact that a male Shepard could get with Ashley or Liara, or that a female Shepard could hook up with Kaidan, the chance to reveal a possibly gay relationship between the game's characters was just too much for the authorities to handle. As a result of a gruesome crime involving an 18-year-old player who murdered a taxi driver from Bangkok and cited Grand Theft Auto as his main influence for the misconduct, the entire game series was banned and taken off the shelves in Thailand. Even though it wasn't very logical to blame a video game for the behaviour of a troubled teenager, GTA still got the ban hammer and nothing could be done to lift this interdiction. Much in the same vein as GTA, Saints Row III features the same type of gameplay where stealing cars, shooting people, and robbing banks is part of the daily routine, and of course, the game got banned in the United Arab Emirates precisely for the features mentioned above. And also, let's not forget about the many other deviant scenes that can be found throughout Saints Row, such as the dominatrix who uses a literal man-powered chariot to chase down the player, for example. The interesting case of how the 2011 version of Mortal Kombat got banned in South Korea due to its outrageous graphical violence is king of ridiculous when we think about the fact that Mortal Kombat X got released 4 years later and they totally forgot about this idea and left the game on the market for anyone to buy. It's entirely understandable to want to banish such a violent game, but it's a total wonder how and why they changed their mind so fast and let a much more intense Mortal Kombat title slip by. The German gamers that got excited to play Dead Island back in 2011 when it was first released were met with a major letdown because the authorities considered that the game contained way too much extreme graphical violence to be actually allowed in stores. Luckily, the ban in Germany only lasts for about 10 years, so in 2021 there's a solid chance people will be able to buy a game that is a decade old and probably doesn't age that well. Basically a murder simulator at its core, Postal 2 is by far one of the most controversial gaming titles in the world, and the fact that it got banned in a large number of countries is no wonder. Displaying a myriad of excessively depraved subjects including high-impact violence, animal cruelty, homophobic discourse, and racial stereotypes, this scandalous gaming title shed a very bad light on the entire world of video gaming. Bully is a video game that tackles with the delicate subject of violence between school children, but its final goal is to teach us all a lesson of how this phenomenon could actually be stopped, which is truly a valuable message. The only obstacle this game encountered was in Brazil, where the authorities banned it because it takes place inside a school and that is not acceptable. In addition to this, they considered that the game would be a good source of inspiration for bullies, and that would also be totally unacceptable. Hold on to your butts for this one. Of all the disturbing games in the world, RAPELAY surely takes the grand prize. Its gameplay tasking you with the revolting job of stalking and having sex with a mother and her 2 daughters by force. It's more than obvious that such a deranged theme should not have been allowed to see the light of day in the first place, so the fact that this game got banned in countries like Argentina, Indonesia and New Zealand is totally understandable. This was our list, highlighting some crazy games that got banned, and we hope you enjoyed our video. If you did, please press that like button, as we do appreciate it and it helps us immensely. We often ask our audience for suggestions to compile these lists. If you'd like to contribute, please follow Frag Hero on Facebook. Do you know of any other naughty games? Feel free to post your thoughts in the comments below, because we do try to read pretty much everything. Now, it would also be a good time to encourage you to subscribe, because we upload new stuff all the time, so subscribing will keep you up to date with all of our latest videos. You can also check out fraghero.com for more gaming related articles, but until next time, thanks for watching and have a great day.